If you haven't watched the previous video, you can just click the card shown at the top right corner of this video. In that video, I forgot to mention the lower middle UI, which is this one. Apparently, it got updated, which used to look like this. Basically, what this does is it helps you change the viewing angle either to the top side, the right side, or the front side. And you can also reset it and also view the isometric view and also change between orthographic or perspective view. So now let's start talking about the 2D elements and the text in the spline. These are the 2D shapes provided in the spline, namely rectangle, ellipse, triangle, polygon, star. And we have a text tool which can be used to produce text. So let us come to the shapes first. As you can see, we already have a rectangle here. As you can see, when I select this object, there is a change in the settings. We can see states and event option here and also a shape setting here, and below that you have a material and a cloner. So what the state option does is it lets you have two values of the same object. So if I see, there is a base state here, and if I switch to state 1 and change something in here, then if I click base state again, it returns to that. And to switch between that states, we have events. So if I add an event here, and it has some different options to trigger the event. As you can see, if I select start, and then our object is a rectangle and we have to change to state 1, and it gives the option to toggle between cycle, repeat, and there is also a transition option where you have different transition settings, and there is a duration of the events, which is basically time taken to switch between base state and state 1, and there is a delay at which the event will start. And if I click play, there is a change between base state and the state 1. So that's the function of the states and events. And in the shape settings, you have different values for the different elements in here. So let us see what the rectangle has. It has the size of the x value and y value, mainly the length and breadth, I would say. And there is a corner option which lets you round off the edges of the object. As you can see, if I increase this, it is rounding off the object. The type of roundness can be arc or smooth. And there is a extrusion option, which you can see that if I just change the angle of this object, if I increase the extrusion, there is some extrusion here. I will change the lightning here so you can see more clearly that their extrusion is like this. And there is a bevel option which lets you round off the edges again in a 3D function, and the bevel size lets you smoothen off the bevel. In the material settings, we have different material values which can be added. So if I click plus here, it will create new material value. So I can change the material value to be texture, color, depth, normal, gradient, noise, Fresnel, rainbow, matcap, and display. So if I just add depth here, you can see there is a gradient tapping happening. If I change the colors here, and there are some different options in here also. I will explain about the materials in depth in the future video. So let us now move on to the cloner. As you can see, if I reset this and just zoom out a little bit, next there is a cloner setting. If you add it, you can see that there are some clones of the object, and it has some different values also, mainly radial, linear, and grid. So these are some of the options in here. The position, scale, and rotation settings helps you change the value between the object and the clones, and the axis option lets you change between x, y, and z axis so that the clones are in either x, y, or z. Linear is a linear type cloner, so you can see that it clones in a linear function. And as said, the position, scale, and rotation options let you change between the object and the cloner. And here is the grid cloner, which lets you change the grid count and the grid size, and also use the center or not. Either the object has to be at the center or not. And next to the cloner, there is a visibility option where you can switch between wireframe mode or else the opaque mode. And there is a flat option which you can toggle yes or no, and there is a side option which lets you define whether you can see the front side or the back side, or else both. The object, you can see that we can't see the back of the object, and if I click back, you can see the back and not the front. If I click both, you can see front and back of the object. And there is the option for shadows, whether to cast or receive it or not, so you can toggle between that. The types of 2D shapes, we can see there is a rectangle as we have worked on it, and there is an ellipse which you can just hit and drag to create it, and hold shift if you want to make a circle. And also there is a triangle. If you just select it and just hit one click on the screen, you can create a triangle. And also there is a polygon and also a star. Now coming to the text, it's pretty simple. Just select the text tool and drag the mouse to make a boundary and type in what you want, and that's it. As you can see, this is the boundary, and there are some few changes in here also. We have states and event to change the values in here, and there is a basic font settings which can be changed here. As we can see, we can change the color of the text, and we have different font families here, and there is option to align the text as per the need. So here there are different values. There is a all caps or all smalls, and we can change the font size here. So as you can see, if I increase it, it increases. As you can see, if I change the line height, it changes the height between two lines, and there is a letter spacing which can be increased to change the spacing between each letter. And that is what the text tool does for now. That's it for this video. Hope you liked it, and if you loved it, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel, and also join the Spline Discord for more fun and amazing news. See you next time. Bye.